Hey guys, it's Amy here, and today I bring you a wonderful video, one I'm very excited about, in which I'm going to talk about His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman. So the lovely people at Penguin Platform have kindly sponsored this video as the Book of Dust is coming out next month, and I'm very excited about it, which you guys probably already know because I've been talking about it pretty much like all year. I keep mentioning it and I'm very excited, and so when they asked to sponsor a video, I jumped at the chance. I've also done a video over on the Penguin Platform channel, which I will leave linked everywhere so that you can go and see that if you would like to. I share my top 5 reasons why I think you should read His Dark Materials. So today we're just going to have a bit of a casual chat about some of my favourite things and things that I love about His Dark Materials. I'm going to stick to talking just about the Northern Lights just because I don't want to spoil people too much, and I want people to be able to watch this video and get really excited about reading the books if they haven't already. As you guys may know, I'm actually rereading the trilogy at the moment. I am currently about halfway through The Subtle Knife, really enjoying it. It is just so wonderful. It's one of those series that you can pick up the books again and again and just pick out more things that you love about it and fall in love more each and every time. It's just wonderful. So if I was pushed to say who my favourite character from Northern Lights, I think I'm gonna have to say Lyra. She's the main character of the books, if you didn't know. So Lyra is our main character. She lives in Oxford, but not our Oxford in England as we know it. It's a kind of parallel universe where things are pretty much the same, but there are also many things that are different. And so Lyra lives in Oxford in the very beginning of Northern Lights, and she's there before she's taken off on a very exciting adventure. What I love about her especially is her gumption. She is just so full of kind of the childhood spirit. Like whenever I read through her, I just think that is the epitome of being a child and kind of getting up to no good and going on adventures, and she won't take no as an answer from anyone, and she'll just go into any kind of problem headlong, and she's just so brilliant. Lyra meets many exciting characters over the course of the 3 books, but my favourite has to be Yorick Bernison, the armoured bear who she meets in Northern Lights. Yorick is kind of outcast from the armoured bears, and so she meets him when he's alone and they bond, and he almost becomes like a kind of father figure to her, and it's just beautiful. Like, it gives me the warm fuzzies. Lyra definitely has a knack of making friends with the right kinds of people and kind of attracting the people who can help her most in her journey in this kind of quest that she's on. Another thing that I love about the books is the kind of magical system and the different magical objects that Lyra comes into contact with. So in the Northern Lights she is given an alethiometer, which is a kind of golden compass thing that has many different symbols and things on it, which she can move the little arms around to face and ask it questions, and it will tell her the truth, and it will flick around and she can read it in a way that no one else is able to read this thing without having a huge tome of kind of the symbols and their meanings. Like, no one else can read it like Lyra can, and so that makes her even more cool in my eyes. Just in the Northern Lights, Lyra moves from being in Oxford to the very north of the land that she lives in, and so she goes from being in kind of a very homely kind of place that she's very comfortable in to being in this like frosty, freezing cold land that she has never encountered before. And all along the way people are helping her get to her kind of journey's end, and obviously there are 2 more books in the series, so it isn't quite the journey's end. That's where she thinks it's going to end, but obviously the story goes on and lots more exciting things happen in The Subtle Knife and The Amber Spyglass. Philip Pullman does a fantastic job of making the journey itself very exciting, because I think sometimes with books, when there's a big journey and they're like aiming to get somewhere, it can get a bit tedious. But in His Dark Materials you don't even really notice the time that has gone from when she was in Oxford and then suddenly all the way up in the north, like fighting for her life, and it's just so exciting. In fact, some of my favourite parts of the book are her being helped by various people along on the journey, and so at one point she is on like a houseboat that's being like taken down rivers and stuff to aid her to the next part of the journey. Another part she's like on a hot air balloon. It's all very fantastical, and as you can imagine you just get pulled completely into the story and you're living there alongside Lyra. If you guys have read the books already, what would you say your favourite character, like your favourite moment, your favourite magical object is? One of my favourite parts of the book series as a whole is the idea of the demons. So for those of you who haven't read His Dark Materials, the demons in Lyra's world are physical kind of entities that live on the outside of each human, and they take an animal form. So they are actually the person's soul, but it lives outside of their body. So Lyra's demon is called Pan, and he can take on any form of any animal that he likes because Lyra hasn't reached adulthood yet. So when you become an adult in this world, your demon takes a permanent form. So that hasn't happened yet for Lyra. So Pan can just switch around and change from being like a moth one second to being a tiger the next, which I find very exciting because I love animals. So I have another question for you. What would you you have your demon be? What kind of permanent form would it take? I've been thinking about this, and I honestly think mine would probably be some kind of cat. House cat. I think my personality fits quite well with that of like a house cat who likes to kind of be loved and cared for, but also wants to have their own space sometimes, and kind of is quite happy to sit by the warm fire, and that's just totally me all over, really. Definitely come and chat to me in the comments about what you think your demon would be. So the main reason why I'm rereading His Dark Materials, and the reason why we are making these videos, is because the Book of Dust, which is the next book in His Dark Materials world, is coming out in October. And if you don't know what the Book of Dust is, it is basically a new story from Philip Pullman set in the world of His Dark Materials. It's not quite a prequel and it's not a sequel either, it's more of an equal. It runs along at the same time as His Dark Materials does, so I cannot wait to see what this story holds. Like, can you just tell I'm excited? I'm very excited, guys. I will leave links to everything you may need down below if you want to buy His Dark Materials and read it before the Book of Dust comes out. If you'd like to pre-order the Book of Dust, I know I definitely will be. And on the end screen of this video, I'll pop the link to the video I made over at Penguin Platform. So thank you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Bye!